Lightsabers are known for their ability to cut through almost any material with ease. Almost any material. There were a number of metals and substances and even creatures that were resistant to lightsabers. In this video, I'll be covering all of them. Most of these are legends only, but I will make sure to note if a material is mentioned at all in the new canon. Let's start with the metals. Frick was a rare metallic compound that was used in light yet durable battle armor or melee weapons. It was used in the creation of electrostaffs, Palpatine's lightsabers, and the armor of the Dark Troopers. It was nearly indestructible, and a holocron made of the stuff even survived the destruction of Alderaan intact. Frick has been mentioned in canon, but only its name. We don't know for sure that it's still a lightsaber-resistant metal, but I think that's a safe bet. CORTOSIS was another incredibly rare metal. It was different from Frick in that it had conductive properties that could cause lightsabers to temporarily short out upon contact. It was also used in melee weapons and armor. The Imperial Knights of the Fel Empire had CORTOSIS gauntlets they used for defense. However, they weren't lightsaber-proof. Lightsabers that used crystals mined on Mystere produced unique blades that could cut through CORTOSIS without problem, and even a regular lightsaber blade could cut through it given enough strikes and time to recover from multiple shortouts. CORTOSIS is another material that has been mentioned in canon. Its conductive abilities are still present, as shown in the book A New Dawn, but we have yet to see it in action against a lightsaber. Mandalorian iron was yet another rare metal. Its ore was only found on Mandalore and its moon, Concordia. In the Tales of the Jedi comics, the spirit of Peardon Nad commented that it was the only material that could resist a lightsaber. Shows how much he knows. NEURANIUM was known for being an incredibly dense metal. Its main purpose was to shield from radiation, but it was also able to resist lightsaber energy for a small amount of time. Longer than most metals anyway. Palpatine used a neuranium-lined statue to hide his lightsaber in Legends, and the surgical center where Darth Vader was rebuilt had thick neuranium walls. SONGSTEEL was a very light and luminescent metal created for the West End Games role-playing games. It was similar to Frick and was highly resistant to lightsaber strikes. The final metal on this list is ultrachrome, which had unique conductive properties that allowed energy to be dispersed across the entirety of whatever object it made up, rather than a single point. That meant the energy of a lightsaber would not be able to penetrate any one point easily. However, if enough energy were poured into that one spot, the entire object would melt. Quantum crystalline armor was the metal that covered the super weapon known as the Sun Crusher, and while it was never tested against a lightsaber, it shares the same superconductive properties as ultrachrome, so I wanted to at least mention it. ARMORWEAVE was a material that offered at least a little resistance to lightsaber attacks. In Legends, it was worn by General Grievous and his Magna Guards. Zam Wesell's suit was made out of the material, as well as the undergarment of Mandalorian armor, and even Darth Vader's cape. In canon, Captain Phasma's cape was made of ARMORWEAVE, however we don't have any real confirmation yet that it offered any protection from lightsabers. Now we're moving on to creatures that had natural defenses against lightsabers, and the first one is completely canon. The ZILLO beast was a massive creature whose hide was unaffected by lightsaber strikes. Emperor Palpatine wished to study the creature to create lightsaber-resistant armor for his clone army, but as far as we currently know, that never happened. Orbalisks were parasitic creatures from Onderaan's moon, Duxin. They would latch onto the skin of a host and multiply until they covered an entire body. The process was extremely painful, but would basically provide the wearer with lightsaber-proof armor. Darth Bane covered his entire body with orbalisks and used a special cage that would keep them from covering his face. Their weakness was electricity. The VONDUUN crab was a very similar creature used by the Yuuzhan Vong to create very similar armor. However, it had more weaknesses. Force lightning is still included in that list, but it would also crack under enough pressure, and it was deathly allergic to the Bafor trees of Ithor. Amphistaffs were the primary weapons of the Yuuzhan Vong. They were genetically engineered creatures with skin strong enough to repel a lightsaber blade. They even had the ability to soften and wrap around a lightsaber without fear of any damage. More lightsaber-resistant creatures included the TIKULINI and the Lava Dragon. Some non-lightsaber resistant objects could be imbued with the Force to increase their durability. For example, the staff of Jedi Master Vodo Siosk Bass was made more powerful, and he was able to duel lightsaber-wielding opponents with it. Well, at least for a while. Along those same lines, Sith alchemy could be used to strengthen weapons or armor to the point that they would stop a lightsaber. Ancient weapons known as dark swords were made of unknown materials that could parry a lightsaber. I couldn't find an actual picture of one, and this is a picture of a force saber. And finally, because I know someone will bring it up if I don't at least mention it, let's talk about the Z6 Riot Control Baton. I'm putting it last because the actual material it's made of can't deflect a lightsaber, but the two conductor vanes produced energy that could. But with that, I'll bring this list to a close. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.